National Security Fellow from the Center for Immigration Studies, as well as the author of Overrun: How Joe Biden Unleashed the Greatest Border Crisis in U.S. History. TODD BENSMAN, it's so great to have both of you guys here. It's incredible to see what's been happening. And TODD BENSMAN, your thoughts? You've spent a lot of time there at the border. Trump isn't stopping at the Marines and the executive orders to end the crisis. He's also sending an additional 1,000 other troops to the border. How is this going to help the crisis in terms of sealing the border and also help the morale of border agents now finally feeling they have a president who has their back?
Well, as Kamala Harris said, we have turned the page for sure on the border. I've often said, I've been quoted 100 times, I don't know how many times, that you can end this border crisis in about 1 hour. You don't need a Senate bipartisan bill or any of that stuff. And that's what happened. Trump just changed the policies, and the border crisis is, for all intents and purposes, over now because the numbers are down below 500 a day, which we haven't seen in many years at it being that low. And among all of the different executive orders that he's put in and policies that he's changed, one that's kind of escaped everybody's notice is his use of the INA section 212F.
And what is that?
Well, that is it's in the INA that allows a president to seal the border and expel 100% of everybody who crosses without granting them the ability to claim asylum. That's been in there all along, all through the campaign when Harris was and all the Democrats were saying, well, we need this complex bill from the Senate. No, we didn't. They just needed 212F. Trump is using it now, expelling everybody that they catch across to the other side, 212F.
Wow. Sheriff Clark, it's interesting to hear Todd's perspective that it's essentially over, and Trump looking at all of these rules and seeing what's in his toolkit. Your thoughts of where we are right now, and it's extraordinary. When you just said that number also, Todd, 500 a day. I remember how many times we talked about 5,000, 8,000 a day. That's an enormous difference. Your thoughts, Sheriff Clark?
Yeah, these are powerful images, the pictures and the video. We finally have action on our southern border once again after the disastrous reign of Biden, Harris, and Mayorkas, for heaven's sakes. They sat up there. We had to listen to them lie to us for 4 years, saying there wasn't much they could do until the Congress acted, that they're doing everything they can until the final year when it exploded on them and it cost them the election. Look, the president knows what he's doing here. He's going to make short order of this. He's just going to start to reinstate the things that he did that had a tremendous effect in sealing our border and restricting illegal immigration in his first term. Things like remain in Mexico back in place, catch and release over. So the stuff has always been there. But, the Congress, they do need to make some changes in our immigration law. There's no doubt about that. But the president isn't going to wait for that, like the birthright citizenship. He's not going to wait around for them to drag their feet like they have for the last 4 years. And I'm talking about the Congress now, have done very little to fix our immigration law. There's a lot of moving parts to it that they simply won't deal with. So the president's forcing the issue now. Some of this is going to end up in court, but that's okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's interesting. He's pressing the buttons, and you're right. Congress does need to step up, too, as well, in a big way, Sheriff Clark. Todd, the sheriff brought up also birthright citizenship, but he also signed another executive order, and this was a biggie, treating drug cartels as foreign terrorist groups. How will this help the border crisis? How does this enable border agents and the administration to really crack down on them?
That one's a little bit more complicated because he can't just with an EO, an executive order, declare them foreign terrorist organizations, but he's basically telling the State Department to do it within the next 2 weeks. So we'll keep an eye on that. The big questions about that is, what is the personnel infrastructure in place to be able to enforce on the new authorities for Mexican cartels that are used currently for ISIS and Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, and Islamic terrorist organizations. Normally, that all falls in the bailiwick of the FBI, the Joint Terrorism Task Forces, and there are 67 of those kind of organizations. Just the Sinaloa cartel itself has 60,000 employees. So it'll be very interesting to see how they staff and resource any kind of new FTO that comes out about the Mexican cartels.
Wow, 60,000 employees. Sheriff Clark, these cartels are not going to give up easily. Not only just the number of employees, the number of money they're making, whether it's bringing in drugs, whether it's the human trafficking. This is a billion-dollar industry. This is going to be a really tough fight against the cartels, right, Sheriff?
There's no doubt about that, but that's why the president is invoking some of the things that he can, why he's putting the military down there. He's making it clear to the cartels, okay, you want to dig your heels in, that's fine, but we have the resources to take you out. Look, these cartels are responsible for the fentanyl that's getting into the United States, the criminal gangs. So I like the way that he's doing this. He's using force to fix this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys, thank you so much for all you do to shine a light on this very important issue. Sheriff Clark, always great to see you. And Todd, thank you very much. It's great to see you guys. Thank you.